Um, I look like shit. Alright, well, I'm gonna just make random videos on YouTube now because I have nothing better to do while I'm on suspension. I got suspended because of paraphernalia because I had a friend spy upon me, which is a great ordeal. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna talk about how all my trips go. They're fun. Um, my friend Jason was on weed and Ambien at the same time, and he was like really tired and he was tripping out, and he's sitting down and like I'm falling asleep. My girlfriend's on the couch. She's already sleeping. And I started to fall asleep and he's like, Joey, wake up. And then I was like, I'm up still. And then he's looking at the fucking my he's looking at my fucking ironing board and he's sitting there looking at it and he swears that it's like this girl covered in a blanket and he's sitting there like, oh my god, it's moving closer. And he's sitting there, he's like, Joey, wake up, wake up. And I was like, I'm up still. And then he's like, Joey, no, wake up, it's gonna kill us. And then I was like, no, Jason, it's not. And then I'm like, and then I fell asleep, but I could still hear what he was saying. And he was like tripping out. And the next day, I remember he told me that he was sitting there and he was tripping balls so bad. He was like, sitting there freaking out like, oh my god, it's moving closer, Joey, wake the fuck up, we're gonna die. And he's sitting there and he's like, Joey, we're gonna die, you need to wake the fuck up, it's moving closer. And he's sitting there like, oh my god. And then he's freaking out and he swears this ironing board is just like some girl underneath a blanket moving closer to us. And he swears that this girl is gonna like come out from underneath the blanket and then just like attack us while I'm sleeping, my girlfriend's sleeping on the couch, and then he's over there just awake. And then after a couple of minutes, I guess, he said that he got up and left the living room, and he was like, I'm the last one alive. And he comes in my room, and my friend John is sleeping on my bed at the time, and he comes in my room, and he's like sitting here swearing that he's the last one alive and like it's a zombie apocalypse or something, I guess. And he's like, John, are you awake? And then John gets up a little bit and then he's like, oh, thank God, I'm not the last one alive. And he's all freaking out and he's like, dude, Joey and Melissa are dead. John's like completely sober. He doesn't do anything whatsoever. And like, he doesn't even want to be involved with it. And he's like, dude, we're gonna die. And then John's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's like, no, dude, John, we're gonna die. We're the last two alive. We have to live. And then I guess like he went home with the same feelings still later on. And after all that tripping and shit, he goes home, he gets home, and he's like laying down. And while he's laying down, he said that he was laying down and his pillow got really hot, so he flipped it over. But before he flipped it over, he's like, time to turn to the cool side of the pillow. And it was just ridiculous. I was like, what the fuck? Oh my god. I wish I was there to see like the whole thing. Like I was there, but I was sleeping. But it would have been funny as hell if I stayed awake for that. I kind of wish I did. But we've had like Delson trips where like we've done Delson before, and it's retarded, I guess. Whatever you want to fucking say about it. But yeah, I'm like, we didn't trip at all at first, and then I fell asleep, and he fell asleep too, and he fell asleep on my floor, and then he tries like 4 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning or some shit. He wakes up in the middle of his high, and he's like, and like he couldn't talk at all. He's like trying to ask me to hand him the blanket, and I just like I knew I felt really dizzy. He finally got me up, and I felt really dizzy. I'm a heavy sleeper, so it's hard for me to wake up. So I thought I was just really tired, and then apparently I guess that was part of the trip, and I didn't know that until later on when I woke up. But I took the blanket off of me and just kind of like kicked it down to him because I was laying down on my bed and I didn't want to get up and I was like trying so hard to get the blanket off of me. It felt like a fucking straitjacket was on me and I couldn't get it off and I was like, fucking hey, dude. And I was like, okay, well now he has the blanket. I can go back to sleep. I passed out like 2 seconds later. I woke up at like 8, 9 o'clock, I think, or some shit. And then my mom's in my room on the computer and I'm sitting here or I'm laying down over there on my bed, and I'm laying there, and I'm like, all of a sudden I just wake up because I heard something that my mom did, I guess, and I just woke up and I was like, my eyes were so wired. I was like my eyes were stuck like that. I felt like they were stuck like that for like maybe an hour or two, and I don't know, but I was like, and then I sat up really quickly and I was like, what the fuck? This is weird. And my mom's sitting there, and then she started talking to me. She said something. She's like, you're stupid for taking cough medicine. You can overdose on that. And I was like, my ears are ringing and my head's spinning. This is cool. And then my mom's like, if your ears are ringing, that's a sign of an overdose. And I was like, I didn't say it, but I was like, that's kind of what DXM does. You overdose on it, and that's what gives you the trip. And then she's sitting here, and I was sitting there, and I can kind of understand what she was saying, but all I remember is the first thing I said to her, because I couldn't understand her at first, and I remember the first thing I said was, I'm underwater. And then she was like, and I was just like, what? And then she was like saying something about the cough medicine, I guess. And then I'm like laying down on my bed, and I'm like, you sound like you're underwater too. Whoa, this is cool. And then I'm like sitting there, and I'm like, this is so weird. And then Jason's like laughing his ass off at me. He's trying so hard not to laugh because my mom's right here, and like he didn't want to piss off my mom, I guess. And then he's like over there laughing. My mom's sitting right here like, Joey, you're fucking stupid, and I'm over here like, what the fuck? This is so cool. And like, I don't know. I'm like laying down, and I sit up finally, like actually get up, and then like I'm trying to walk around, and I'm like walking in circles because I feel like I'm walking in circles. I guess I was walking straight, but I was walking like a drunken stupor. It's fucking ridiculous. And I'm walking around my room like in circles for like 3 or 4 minutes trying to find out how to stand up straight, and I thought I was like laying down still. It felt like I was laying down, and I was like, I'm underwater, and I just kept swearing I was underwater. It felt so weird. Like I swore if I jumped up, I would just float to the top of my fucking room. It was the weirdest shit in the world. But I was like tripping out, and Jason's laughing his ass off at me. And then I come over to my computer and I'm trying to type to people. I can't type. Like I'm on Facebook and I'm trying to talk to people. I'm like, I can't even talk. My girlfriend calls me on Skype, and I'm like, and then right away she's just like, what the fuck did you do? And I was like, I'm on Delson right now. I'm so fucking high. This is scary. And then she was like, well, you shouldn't have done Delson then. And I was like, well, don't fucking make fun of me just because I wanted to experiment. I wanted to try it. And then, because we got bored, and we were like, let's go do something. So we went and got 3 bottles of Delson. One for Jason, one for me, and one for my friend, our mutual friend Miles. And so we gave a bottle to Miles, and I remember he was like talking to me on Facebook, and he swore that if he stopped talking to people on Facebook, he was gonna die. He said, if I stop talking to people, I'm gonna die. And he was like, this trip is so scary. And I was like, it's not scary. You just have to get used to it. And at the time, I had like a fourth of a bottle left, and I drank that, and I was like, well, now I'm gonna be bored for a couple hours. And then I went to school, and I was like completely tripping when I woke up. It was so weird. I was so tired though, because like I slept with my eyes open. I got stuck in a sleep coma. Like I slept at the Olympic College, and I was on their chairs, and it was really awkward because there was a bunch of people around, and I was like, this is probably really weird for them because, some random hobo looking dude just laying down over there, like what the fuck? And so I'm sleeping with my eyes open. I don't know how that works. I was stuck in a sleep coma, I guess, from sleep deprival. And after like 3 hours, I finally got up, and that was because my girlfriend came over and got me, and she was like trying to wake me up. And whenever someone wakes me up, I'm really pissy. And I woke up, and we go back over to the school, and like the whole time I'm completely quiet, so she thinks I'm pissed off at her the whole time. I'm not pissed off. I'm just tripping my balls off, dude. I was like walking over to college, or walking back over towards the high school, and I'm like walking over there dizzy as fuck, and I'm like, this is so weird. This is cool though. And then she's like, are you pissed off at me? And I was like, no. And then we're just walking back to the high school, and we got back over towards the high school, and I guess it was like the end of the day or something, and um yeah, that was pretty much the weirdest part of my trip. there was just, I don't know why, but that was the weirdest part of my trip. I guess sleeping with my eyes open was really fucking weird though. And then I slept again when I got home, and then I woke up, but then the high was gone, so I just kind of Facebooked like I always do. I had nothing else to do. And then there's times where, like, yeah, that's about it, actually. I'm gonna make the rest in another video. Yeah. Okay, bye.